All right, today is Sunday, June 16th, and it's actually Father's Day today. So, anybody watching that's a father, happy Father's Day. Um, let's take a look at the Euro USD. Obviously, last week I didn't make a video because there just wasn't that action, or at least on my part, in terms of trading opportunities or clarity, if I should say, in terms of putting a position on. I did have a slight position. I think it was on Wednesday. It was during FOMC. Well, not during, but it was before in the morning. And it was a light position because it just wasn't too clear to me what direction the market was going to go. Now, the overall direction I was right, but I got stopped out on the spike during FOMC. It was like over 1%. And then at the end of the day, it closed out at about 60, I think 65%, something 60. It was somewhere around 60% that the day closed. And then obviously the market kept pushing to the downside. So right now, yeah, let's take a look. And you guys know that I have these markers on. These are not levels that I put on myself. These are pivot points, and then the dotted lines are median levels. And I've been trading this way for over 10 years now, so I know it works very well. And it gives you kind of like a marker of the areas that you want to get into a trade, or likely to have a reversal, right? And if it just goes past that area, then you have another area, another level to look forward to, whether you're going to looking for a take profit or you're looking for a stop loss barrier to mitigate risk. So let's just look here. You can see, this median level. Now, there's two median levels in this area. There's that long-term median level. You can see the dotted line all the way across. That's on a 10-year basis. And then the small one that goes from here to here is a yearly one median level. So what I like to do is I like to use a marker or a rectangle and just place a level in there, right? I don't need to, but just for visual purposes, you'll have just an area to look out for. And if you look at my previous videos, I had this area loaded up before, just to give me a visual of the zone that there's probably going to be either resistance or support, right? And you could see that proof of that all the way back here, so in February and also in April. Here too, slightly, but this was just a pause before the market continued to the upside. So I was overall looking for a short position all the way back here. And I wanted us to hit this level up here, which is the main pivot point, and kind of like sync up with this previous high. And I had shorts waiting all the way up here, but obviously you can see that it just didn't make it there. It was just shy, maybe about, I don't know, 25, maybe 50 pips to get into the zone and start looking for a short and have a take profit of this area right here. So missed out on that trade. And it's kind of weird because usually I'm still surprised at this, but it's, neither here nor there, right? Whatever happens in the market happens, and you just got to move forward to the next opportunity. But this here, since it didn't make this, it didn't touch this support one, and it just took off. I was expecting for it to, okay, fine, maybe it's gonna get through these median levels, and then now it's gonna hit that area of resistance where we can possibly look for a short. And on top of that, there was divergence on the MACD, which just like that, which gave more confirmation that, okay, if it gets up here, it's a pretty safe short. And then we put our stops up about 100 pips away, give it some room, and then we can target this. But even though this was correct, you had a divergence, a negative divergence. Price just decided to just stop right here and just get back into this area. Now you can see in this median level, this area, the zone, there was a spike during FOMC. And you know what? If I go back to the traditional candles, you can see it came down here and then this monster push all the way up. This was like over 1% and covered this gap, right? Because with hiking and sheet candles, you can't see gaps. So covered this gap, and then finally it left a big wick, and then it made that strong move all the way to the downside, and then now here we are, right? So I'm gonna go back to the hiking and sheet candles. So then, I use these levels to really guide me on when I should enter and when I shouldn't. So besides the small little position that I have over here on the short side and got stopped out on that spike, I haven't entered our position in a while, and it's just been a patience game, a game of just waiting to see what the market does and give me more clarity. And sometimes you need to zoom out for that. Okay, if I zoom out, I'm like, okay, it's not reaching this area. It's not reaching this area. So what's the deal? So if we take I'll use a divergence trend line. I have my divergence trend lines are thick ones, so I could see it's a little bit easier to look at divergence and draw it out. But for my basic trend lines is lighter. But for the purpose of this video, I'll use the thicker trend line. And if we start all the way up here, okay, and we draw something like this, okay, we're definitely in a triangle. You can see it clearly, right? And usually what happens with triangles is that obviously once it gets towards the, to the later parts of the triangle, it's going to start condensing. It's going to start, making moves shorter and shorter. Like you can see it all the way back here. Let me get, we'll use this brush tool. Okay. Swing down here, swing all the way here, all the way here, down, and now it's up here. So it's within this big, triangle. I mean, this could count as two swings, right? One swing up, a pullback, and then another swing high. But for the purpose of the triangle, you can see obviously it's, it's getting tighter in here. Now, I'm curious to see if we do break out to the downside, are we going to find that support that I was looking for all the way back here? Are we going to finally get that support down here and then possibly make a move back up? Things are just not so clear right now. And the only thing to do is to just wait it out to see what but at least we identified that there is a triangle here. You can see this big move here, and it's just, the moves have started getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? Making about 200 pips or so. We want to look for like 250 pips, maybe even 500 pips. But if the market's not trending, we can't, take advantage of that, getting more than 500 pips on one trade, right, with multiple positions. So looking down here at the MACD, maybe we'll have some type of divergence. So maybe we'll have some type of hidden divergence. It's just still not clear to me what this market's trying to do, other than being able to identify that, hey, prices is getting tighter, and what we need to do is just wait it out to see how to approach the market, which direction that we should look for and get on, initiate some trades. If you look on a weekly chart, it's probably going to be the same thing, just on a lot larger time scale. Now, there's kind of two ways you could draw this, actually. It depends on what happens over here, but based on the daily chart, we can say, okay, this is a triangle, obviously, and the market's going to push down into this level. But also, if it does push down further, it could still be a descending triangle, where it ends up like this, right? Down here, and then maybe making a move around, because you have support all the way back here in the same zone. You got support here, you got support here, and I would not be surprised. And basically, that's what I was looking for before, when I was looking at this this trade down here. I was looking for this area to get touched, but didn't come all the way down. So maybe this time it'll try to come all the way down and find this area as support as well. So right now, again, it's nothing but a waiting game to see what the market's going to do. We already had FOMC, and I think we had NFP as well. Non-farm payrolls. So next week there is some data, but it's not anything like FOMC or NFP to create some big volatile moves. But we'll just see how the market's going to react next week. Well, actually, I should say the next 2 weeks, and see what happens if we scale out of this triangle formation, and if we're actually going to get a significant move once we break out. So that's going to be it for this analysis of the Euro USD. One of the biggest parts of trading is to be patient, and that's a very difficult thing when the market's either going sideways, not giving you any opportunities, or just waiting it out to see how the market's going to react in certain situations. But that's not a bad thing, right? Because you preserve your capital and you keep your powder dry, so to speak. So when the opportunities do come, and they will come, you'll be able to take advantage of them and make some good profit. I can't tell you how many times in the past, when I first started trading, even after a couple of years, even though the strategies and the analysis was on point and it worked really well, patience, not waiting for the actual solid trade setups, really haunts you, because you take losses or you take unnecessary trades, and then maybe a week later, 2 weeks later, maybe even 3 weeks later, a really clear opportunity presents itself, and then you start thinking to yourself, well, I should have just waited, because this opportunity was so clear, and I could have made significant amounts more if I had just waited and kept my capital on standby, right, being flat, as they say in the market. So with that said, yeah, definitely stay flat if you have no clear opportunities, but we shall see what happens moving forward. So look forward to seeing you guys in the in the next video, and I will post one next Sunday. Take care.